Yep. It's Sunday, episode 166. This is the Pound for Pound MMA podcast. UFC 289 Nunes versus Aldana recap, MMA news, and then the Vettori versus Cannonier preview show. But before we do all that, where do we begin, Dev? And I'm calling on you because I got to turn off those headlights.
Well, we begin at our social media accounts, Mason. P4P Pod on all socials. We finally got our Rumble up. That's good. P4P MMA Pod on that's everything. We also have Tremendous Studios on Patreon that has all of our content. So please go like, subscribe, and hit those bell notifications.
Powerful. Thank you very much for that. So we're here. We're talking about the recap. I mean, obviously, first and foremost, we got to talk about it. It's breaking news, the biggest news of the card, because there wasn't a whole lot going on that card last. It wasn't the worst card ever, but it just, I don't know. It just didn't feel like a pay-per-view, in my opinion. It just really didn't. It just didn't have that level of excitement. But that's okay, because 290, 291, and 292 are stacked to the absolute brim. We'll talk about Amanda Nunes retirement. She's done it all, man. She's literally done it all. I mean, what more can Amanda Nunes do? And of course, we talked about it on the Fight Companion. You guys all knew it was going to happen. The second Nunes retires, Juliana Pena comes out and tweets. And I wish I would have, I literally just got here. I just got back. Otherwise, I would have had this tweet already pulled up. Absolutely hilarious. She goes, "Oh, what do you, of course you're scared. Professionally, you're scared of me, or professionally, what the hell," or something like that. I don't know. Juliana Pena, I respect the fact that you were a champion. You defeated Amanda Nunes and you finished Amanda, and it was very, very impressive. But at the same time, you did get 5-0 the second fight. To say that Amanda's scared of you, I don't buy it. But Juliana, I do see what you're doing. It's actually pretty smart. It's pretty smart because business-wise, it makes a lot of sense, right? Like, you're going to call her out. You're going to start some shit. You want to be the heel in this situation, and you want the biggest payday possible in that rematch with Amanda. And the way Juliana Pena thinks, because she's a dog, she's a savage, she thinks, well, if I can beat her once, I can beat her twice. She wanted the trilogy. So I'm actually not going to hate up on Juliana Pena as much as other people, because I see the business strategy there, and to me, it makes a lot of sense. I mean, what are your thoughts on that, Devin?
So to quote her tweet, she says, in quote, "I scared you so bad into retirement. Personally, congratulations. Professionally, what the fuck was that?"
Yeah.
End quote.
But I mean, don't you think that she's playing the heel here just a bit, just to try and do everything she can to get the fight?
Yeah.
Because some eyes are better than no eyes, right? Especially in the women's division, especially in a bantamweight division that has been dominated by Amanda Nunes for as long as it has. You got to spice things up. You got to be a caricature. You got to be kind of that Colby Covington of the women's division, and why not play into that? If Juliana Pena wants to play heel, let her play heel. Well, someone's got to make that division entertaining again. Now that Amanda's
but
retired.
The time to play that was before the fight and to go through with the fight. I understand you got injured in training. Maybe it was an accident.
A broken rib sucks. I'm not defending her.
It does suck.
I am defending her because
no, that's
that
fine.
Sucks.
A broken rib does suck. Maybe I assume it was an accident during training. Maybe she could have been prevented. Maybe it was a bad training partner. Whatever the case may be, that all went out the window. I mean, she had to know Amanda was going to retire. There's nothing else for her to do. She's beat everybody. And Juliana beat her, in the last fight. But then she, 50-45'd her? 50-44'd on some – I mean, completely obliterated her. I wasn't even interested in a trilogy. I truly wasn't.
That's funny.
I was fine to see a different opponent that she hasn't fought before. I don't know if you watched the post-fight, but that's exactly what Amanda wanted. She said if she had fought Pena, she would have fought one more time, someone that she hasn't fought before, and then retired. But since she fought to get to fight Aldana, she's done.
Yeah.
And congratulations. I mean, I don't know what else you want her to do. So.
Hey, I mean, the quote, man, the greatest woman to ever do it in the history of mixed martial arts up until this point. I mean, it's pretty bar none, pretty easy. easy decision to make there. And I understand Amanda's part too. As me as an MMA fan, I would have liked to see the trilogy just because it is quote unquote one to one. Even though Amanda definitively went out there the second fight and beat her, you could say the first one. Actually, I'm not going to say that because I'm not taking away anything from Juliana Pena. She got out there, she finished Amanda, very impressive, and she'll always have that on her resume of beating one of the greatest to ever do it of all time, regardless of gender. But yeah, I mean, what a career Amanda Nunes has had. I mean, really just a dominant force. She's got a beautiful family now. She's got money. She's set up for the rest of her life. I mean, what more could you ask for?
I mean, she's got her eyes set on, just maintaining her gym, raising her family. She says that she believes that she could train one of her girls to be the next future champ, and I totally believe that. So it looks like we're getting, we had Coach Habib, now we're going to get Coach Nunes. I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
Excited to see what that brings, what kind of savagery and talent she could bring to the ring through her coaching.
When again, like they have done it right. Her and Nina have done everything right. Where it's like Amanda built herself up championship after championship, making the money. They start their own gym. Nina's responsible for all the finances, all of the business side. So they're crushing it in that department. And now Amanda, I don't care, regardless of gender, you are stoked to train in Amanda Nunes' gym. You know what I mean? Like that is a huge selling point. One of the greatest fighters to ever do it in the sport, and you're going to go train at her gym. I mean, the business model set up for them. I mean, they're set for life, and they did it the right way. And obviously, I wish them nothing but the best. I think it's an awesome story. And Amanda Nunes, I'm going to miss you forever. I love you, and it sucks that you're gone, but understandable at the same time. You got a family and everything else. So yeah, really cool to see that. Anything else to add on this? I mean, as far as the fight goes, it was an absolute ass beating.
Let's just hop into it.
Yeah. I mean, the fight was I guess if you want to call it a fight, it was a fight. It's just Amanda's just so dominant. That's what she's done historically to everyone. She just dominates them.
I did feel like
50-43, 50-44, and 50-43. That's crazy.
Yeah, you got 2 10-8 rounds. That's crazy. I expected a little more out of Aldana. Do you think she got that kind of oh shit moment? I'm in here with the lioness and that kind of intimidation.
Well, it sure as shit looked like it.
I thought she was gonna bring it on. She was kind of bringing it on later in those in the later rounds, but it just seemed. I figured after like the first round they were feeling each other out. Second round they were going to bring it up, but she really just couldn't. She was landing some shots, but other than that one in like the second round, it wasn't really an impressive show.
Yeah.
Not to be, as respectful as possible, but I was kind of disappointed. I thought she was going to bring it a lot more, but maybe it was, I don't know the mentality in there, but maybe she was just intimidated. I also was curious to hear what her coaches were telling her in the corner, but I'll have to go back and listen to that.
They were asking. I heard her corner. Interestingly enough, and they just said, "Are you here? Are you present?" Because she wasn't there. There was no one there.
Knock knock.
It's a bad joke, but man, yeah. She's got her ass beat. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like that, it just wasn't a good outing, wasn't a good performance. And I do agree with you. I really do believe that like when she got in there, she was like, oh shit, like this is a different level. Because she didn't have an answer for anything at all. For anything. Amanda was faster, stronger, better in every department. And, shout out to Amanda. Nothing less or nothing left to prove at all. She still got the featherweight and bantamweight strap, even though the featherweight belt, I don't know. That division.
Yeah, that might go bye-bye is what
it needs
I'm hearing.
Yeah, it needs to go away. It's ridiculous.
Just disappointing.
Yeah, but it is what it is. I'd rather have an Atom
weight. I agree, but I want there to be more weight divisions.
So right.
There's more
but
opportunities.
If I had to choose, there are far more women out there that could make 105 pounds than 145. So I'd rather have an atom weight in the UFC. Let's move on to the co-main event of the evening. Charles Oliveira versus Beneil Dariush. Wow. Dan Ige, fuck you. Had you had knocked out Nate Landwehr, I would have hit a very massive parlay on a KO by Dan and a KO by Charles. But it didn't go my way, and that's okay. But as far as the fight is concerned, Wow, does this shake things up a little bit in the lightweight division? This was obviously a title eliminator. Charles Oliveira versus Beneil Dariush. You gotta feel for Dariush, man. I mean, 8 fights in a row, win streak, on the cusp of a title shot, especially if you go out there and beat the former champion of the world, lightweight champion Charles, but just fell up short. I mean, Charles has got lightning in those hands, man. Just so much power. He clipped Dariush. Dariush tried to do everything he could to survive, but just couldn't do it. Charles finishes him in the first round. Now, Devin, I want to ask you this. This is very interesting to me. With the way this lightweight division is going, do you foresee Charles getting the next shot against Islam Makhachev?
Yeah, that's kind of what Dana said. He said, let's stop playing games. Like that makes the most sense
Mm-hmm.
to do Oliver Makachev too.
I
So
agree.
might as well. I mean, what are you gonna make Charles wait and fight the winner of Gaethje Poirier?
Right. And that's more.
He's already beat both of them.
Exactly.
So
And that's like
you know,
the BMF belt. And I agree. I think it absolutely has to be Charles. Charles is number one contender in this division. He just beat Beneil Dariush, number 4. And then you have 2 and 3, Gaethje and Dustin fighting
the
for the
only other
BMF.
thing that people were talking about could happen if something falls through is
Mhm.
if Volk wins, then he just fights Islam again, which I'm for that
I'm
as
fine with
well.
that too.
I'm fine with that.
100% fine with that. I think you give it to Charles first, and if Islam runs through him, then yeah, give him Volk.
I
If Volk can
think
get past Yair.
I think yeah, whoever wins between Gaethje and Poirier gets the next shot after Charles. And if they're not able to fight at that time, then you just do Volk. Might
Mhm.
as well. It makes the most sense to me.
Oh, absolutely. That fight was so close. I think Volkanovski etched that
It
fight out,
just
man. But
so
it's so
close.
close. It could have went either way. I'm definitely not a robbery. People need to chill on the robbery word.
It's weird
It's just,
because
man, close
if you
fight.
scored it by one rules,
Yeah.
then Volk would have won.
Mhm.
But
You score it
UFC
by
rule,
another.
it's different.
Yeah.
So in that case, it's like I almost wish it was a tie, so it wasn't. It's like more promotable. You
Mhm.
know what I'm saying? Because it's such a close fight. But that's just me.
Yeah, but I mean, phenomenal performance by Charles. I think the big thing coming into this fight was people were asking, now that Charles is kind of sleeping in silk sheets, he's got a nice mansion, he's got a bunch of money. Is he really coming into this octagon to fight? Does he still want it as bad as he used to before getting the belt? And I think he answered everyone's question with a resound yes. Yes, he does. And yes, he can get the job done. First round knockout, absolutely tremendous for Charles Oliveira. Wish him nothing but the best. Excited to see that Islam Makhachev fight. Moving on to Mike Malott versus Adam Fugit. A second round guillotine choke here by Mike Malott. Canada was 5-0. I mean, fuck, if you would have done a Canada parlay, you'd be rolling in the dough because there were like 3 Canadians on this card that were heavy dogs. And boy, oh boy, Canada just was on fire. I don't know, dude. They must have had some maple syrup beforehand, got a sugar high because they were beating the piss out of their opponents. Very impressive outing by Canada, undefeated still. And Mike Malott there got a really impressive second round sub. But I mean, Mike was catching Fugit quite a bit in that first round. And I was worried for Fugit. Fugit was trying to do everything he could, but I mean, Mike just was a better guy that night. What do you think about this fight?
I thought it was a really good fight. I figured it was gonna be a little closer, but it just seemed as soon as Malik got out there, he kind of just took control of the
Yeah.
octagon, and the whole fight like went his way the whole time. So I guess I knew it was. I thought it was gonna be closer than it was, just because they were both coming in on streaks, both pretty good records, both pretty good fighters. So I thought it was gonna be a little closer. I thought this was good matchmaking, but at the end of the day, there's a more dominant fighter, and he won in a very dominant fashion. So
Yeah.
I thought it was a good fight, but other people would say otherwise.
Yeah, it was good. This one was all right. Let's move to the Dan Ige Nate Land, where Nate the Train, baby. Nate the Train got a train ran on him by Dan Ige. Ige winning 30-27, 29-28, 29-28. Dan almost finished him, I think, in what was it, that second round? It was the second round where he almost finished him. I really thought he was going to, but Nate's just such a durable dude, man. It blows my mind this guy's been knocked out in the first round a couple times, like that Julian Erosa flying knee or whatever. But like this dude is just so tough. It's so hard to put him away. Dan was trying, but Dan got real conservative in that third round and kind of just took his foot off the gas pedal and kind of just went to a decision. It was an all right fight. I think Nate was a little outmatched. I think Dan Ige was the faster, quicker striker. Nate was trying to land as much as he could, but I just think Dan was just a little too technical for him. I mean, would you agree with that assessment? I just thought like Nate was just a step behind against Ige.
Yeah, Dan was definitely quicker, and it looked like his power translated a bit more. He had good footwork. So did Nate. His head movement was good, but
Yeah.
during those later rounds, he just couldn't perform to his best of abilities, and he
Which I
just
thought
kept eating all those shots, but he didn't go out.
no,
So
and I thought the
he's
third
very
round was his
durable.
best round.
It
And I think
was,
that's where 2 out of 3 judges gave him round 3 because,
which I agreed with.
I would agree with too because Ige just took his foot off the gas pedal, man. And then we have the shock of the fight card. You know, I was throwing a lot of shade 15 seconds into this fight. I said it was just going to be a clinch, boring. It's going to go to decision, which I was right on the decision part. But Barut versus Eric Anders was actually a very, very fun fight. Oh my gosh, there was so much dirty boxing, clinch work. It was fantastic. Elbows being thrown, body shots, knees to the body, knees to the face. Like it was a wild fight and actually a lot of fun. This was a really good matchup. And, you know, Barry got the job done. Unanimous decision 30-27, 30-27, 30-27. Moving on to the Nasruddin Imavov versus Chris Curtis. We got a no contest there in round 2. Incidental headbutt. Sad for Chris, man. He's just had a string of just bad luck. Bad luck. But it is what it is. We hopefully Chris Curtis can heal, maybe get a rematch against Imavov. We'll see.
Did you agree with that stoppage, or do you feel like he should have gotten more time?
Nah, he couldn't see anything. And that cut was so deep, dude. Right across the brow, you know, with blood and sweat getting in your eye and, you know, having blurry vision, not being able to see. Like, I'd rather just it be a no contest, honestly. All right. So, as far as like the coins, so Tabor lost 2,648 with a total of 535 coins. I also lost 3,337. I retained 5,602. I am the champ this month. So there we go. Moving on to International Fight Week. Thank you. Thank you. I'm finally going on a little bit of a run. I think that's 2 months in a row now. So that's fun. That is a lot of fun. All right, MMA news. All right, we got to talk about the biggest news here on in the MMA world. I'm sure you guys all saw it. This is where sports cross and they meet and they come together. They intertwine. Conor McGregor was at game 4 of the Miami Heat versus Denver Nuggets game. Home court advantage for Miami Heat. Their mascot walks out. I guess they're doing a bit. Never do a bit with Coked Up Connor. Coked Up Connor is a scary man. Okay. Okay. So, you know, they're doing this skit, and I guess it was written in a way where Connor punches the mascot once, but then I guess Connor just, as soon as the mascot fell, Connor said, fuck it. I do what I fucking want. And he punched the mascot again in the face, sent the poor bastard to a hospital. And if you watch the video very carefully, it's kind of funny. Did you watch the video, Devin?
I sure did.
Yeah, it's pretty funny until you realize that the man was actually hurt and probably concussed and probably actually in real life knocked out. There was a man who was also like grabbed him by the feet, dragged him off the court. It's kind of lifting his legs up, maybe to give him a little blood
But you know
back
what?
to the head.
That's what he signed up for.
That is what he signed up for. He signed up to get punched by Conor McGregor. I guess they sent him home with some pain meds. And he's expected to not survive that punch. So it's
But he's
very
going to
sad.
get a good paycheck.
Yeah, no, he'll be just fine. He'll be just fine. I'm only joshing. But yeah, he will get a nice little settlement by McGregor and his team. But, you know, it's just, I don't understand. Like, Miami is just so wild. Florida's so wild. Why would you have a skit like that with Connor? You know he's going to take it
Florida.
too far.
It's Miami, baby.
I know, but you know Connor's going to take it too far. Cooked Up Connor is a scary Connor, man.
I think you could take him.
Yeah, I think I could too if I had a baseball bat. All right. Next piece of MMA news. Dana teases scrapping women's 145 division, featherweight division. Surprise, would have never thought because we have 2 women in that division and one of them just retired. So, I mean, what's the point? As I just brought up earlier, I'd much rather see an Adam atom weight division, 105 division in the women's, women's division, I guess, whatever. Have an atom weight there because people like, Michelle Watterson would be perfect at 105. There are girls that are plenty small enough to be able to take that on.
I think it's
Hopefully
going to
they
take
do
some
it.
convincing for Dana to do that.
Yeah, I know.
It
But I
makes
mean,
more
Invicta and
sense.
stuff does atom weight.
And
know?
I agree with that. But I feel like he's going to be more hesitant because of I wouldn't say failure, but man, it just cleaned out the division and scared everyone off.
Yeah. Yeah, so I mean, it is what it is. 145 is gone, and I don't really give a shit, if I'm being honest, because there's no one there. It's not that I don't like women fights. I love them. There's a lot of times I'm more hyped for a woman fight than I am a man fight. But there's just no one in the division, so just scrap it. Just get rid of it. We don't need it. It is what it is. It's okay. It was a fun experiment. Maybe we bring it back in a couple of years. Maybe it'll be like a fun little BMF thing where we bring up the featherweight division. Two girls are going to fight for this belt one time a year. It's silly. It's silly, and it needs to be cut. Let's move on. And it is what it is. Let's move on to the next piece of MMA news. This one, okay. Chris Weidman is coming back, folks. Yep, you heard it right. He is coming back to fight after that gruesome leg injury where it snapped in half. And it was, if you haven't seen the footage, I would recommend not even watching it. It's not worth it. It's horrific, let me tell you. But he's coming back for UFC 292. That's going to be in Boston, if I'm not mistaken. That should be the Aljamain Sterling, Sugar Sean O'Malley card somewhere in August. And he is fighting Brad Tavares, which I think is actually a really good matchup for him coming back after such a long layoff, a lot of surgeries. That dude has been through hell, guys.
I kind of wish he would just do jiu-jitsu tournaments at this
point. So do I.
Unless he get, ankle lock.
Yeah, but I watched that guy's Instagram. Chris Weidman went through hell. I hope everyone, just
absolute savage,
searing pain every single day in his leg. The healing process was gruesome. It was awful. And the guy wants to come back and fight again. That's a true testament to what a dog Chris Weidman is. What an absolute savage warrior, because 99.99% of people in general who go through something that traumatic would never want to fight, which is also pretty crazy because the second part of the news here is he says his first strike will be a hard leg kick to get over the fear of breaking his leg. That's almost psychopathic. Chris, let's just keep away from the leg kicks, please. I do not want to watch a re-break, dude. I am pulling for you, Chris. I hope you do well out there. You're the American hero. What you were able to do against Silva, was incredible. You'll always be a future Hall of Famer in the middleweight division, but I just really hope that you stay healthy, stay smart. You don't have to throw a leg kick that hard either. Maybe just like a medium one to the body. Yeah, no. God, dude.
Would you come back and fight after that?
No, fuck no. No.
I thought you were a dog. I thought you were a savage.
I ain't a dog that way, dude. I'm a dog in sales, I guess, and finance. I ain't a dog fighting. No thanks. Not like that. Not after a break like that. Are you kidding me or what? There are different kind of dogs in this world.
That
right?
we were Alpha Top G.
Yeah, no, I ain't Alpha Top G in that capacity. No, thank you. You guys can stick to the, $50,000. Let's break a leg for $50K. Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm going to pass on that. Okay. Well, last little piece of news here. Half of PFL's light heavyweight division were cut for failed drug tests. Yep, you heard it right. I think 10 of them so far have been, if my last count, 10 people in the PFL have been caught with melting the piss cup, which is unfortunate.
It's the PFL, though. Can't we just look the other way?
No, we can't look the other way, guys. We cannot look the other way on that. You cannot literally take.
You don't want to see Francis on juice?
No, I don't.
I do.
Performance-enhancing drugs while you're bashing in people's skulls? No, don't want to see it.
I want to see him pop someone's head.
Thiago Santos, former light heavyweight contender in the UFC, fought against John Jones, was popped. Come on, Thiago, you know better than that.
Shocked,
you're better than that. No, I'm not. Christoph Jocko as well. You could use all the help you could get. Robert Wilkson among a lot of the 2022 cuts. So,
must have been something going around.
Well, it's just, man, it's just these guys I don't understand why they decided to do drugs. It's just not a good idea.
Everyone's cheating. That's what Homeboy said.
Yeah.
Gotta cheat back.
Ty Flores, Josh Silveira, Marthin Hamlet, Dylan Monte. Yeah, there's a lot of guys, dude. Holy crap. But, you get what you get. Hopefully they suspend them hard. and suspend them all for 2 years. I mean, it's inexcusable in this sport to be taking performance enhancing drugs. Just absolutely.
So they're all pretty much
not
retired
cool.
then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And W says the 145 belt was basically a prop at this point. Yeah. Yeah. 100%, dude. It's just like, there's no point in even having it. So you and I agree. I talked about it earlier. Like, just get rid of the belt. Like, there's no point. I'm surprised he's coming back to 185. He looks huge on those weigh-in shows with DC. Yeah, he'll probably be cutting a lot of weight to get back down to 185, but I don't know. I don't know if I want to see him kicking at 205 either. So those guys are on an insane schedule. I bet they were all on stuff for quick recovery. That's actually a valid point. So we don't actually know what they pop for. They could be popping for like trying to get rehydrated really fast or like whatever the hell, adrenochrome or whatever the hell that stuff's called. I don't know. I'm not a scientist, guys. All I know is it's not good. Okay. 4 fights in 7 months is pretty wild to do though in the PFL. And I think they should slow that down. Maybe do like a 2-year tournament where it's like you fight 2, maybe 3 times a year every 4 months. But it is kind of wild to fight 4 times in 7 months. That seems a little nutty to me.
I actually really like that. I like that Mortal Kombat shit.
Yeah, Mortal Kombat. Yeah. Or just have them fight 4 times in a night, like the old school days, man.
I'm for that too.
Yeah, that'd be fun. That'd be pretty fun.
And if you're too injured to continue, then you get cut.
I want to start a fight organizational league where it's sand on the base and then just a square of just fire, just small fire throughout the whole thing. So if you do get taken down, you get burnt.
Are you allowed to just put someone's face in the fire?
You are until they tap.
I'm for that. That's fine.
Yep. Kind of like gladiators, except you can't kill them, but you can take them within an inch of their life.
Yeah, you can't kill them. You can just immolate them and torture them.
Yes. That's the league I would like to see one day.
Probably bring a lion in there.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why not? All right, guys. Well, Cash is going to be here at any moment. We just wanted to recap that for you. We might do a show in the middle of the week, or like we might do a preview right before. I don't know.
Do you want to do this? Go through this preview real quick.
I mean, sure, we can. Marvin Vettori versus Jared Cannonier. This is even money. Look, guys, I'm a betting man. You guys know I'm 100%. I always bet on the right guy. I never lose money. So take my word for this. Jared Cannonier is not knocking out Marvin Vettori. It's just not going to happen. Marvin has got 1 brain cell left, and it's just impossible to put the guy out. He is so durable, so tough. Marvin Vettori will win this fight. He'll win it via decision. I would recommend it even money right now. You lay the friggin' house on Vettori because Cannonier is going to be too timid. He's not going to throw enough shots like he always does. I don't see him finishing Vettori. I would lay the house on Vettori at a -110, especially going decision. I really, really like that. So I'm going heavy on Vettori this week. I don't know yet. Oh, I guess Tabor did make a pick here. So I guess I'll just make my picks real quick. I'm going to go Vettori here, and I'm going to go 2,500 on Vettori for the win. And then I'm also, my prop bet on this is Vettori decision, and I'm going to go 1,000 on that as well. So a $3,500 bet on Marvin Vettori. Moving on, we have Arman Tsarukyan versus Joaquim Silva.
Do you agree with this line, or is it a little too crazy for you?
No, I mean, Arman Tsarukyan is a savage, dude. It is what it is. And Joaquim Silva, isn't he a Contender Series guy?
I believe so.
Yeah. So it's just like, it is what it is, man. It is what it is. I mean, a -1,000 is pretty steep. I'm trying to pull up Joaquim Silva. Let me just give me a sec here, guys. This makes for bad. I wasn't expecting to do a preview, so I got to pull this up real quick. Yeah, he's 12-3, 7 KOs, 3 submissions, 2 decisions. You know, I mean, he lost to Ricky Glenn and Nasrat Haqparast. So yeah, I think Arman Tsarukyan is gonna probably dominate him here. Probably get a submission or a KO victory. You know, I mean, Tsarukyan.
I might lay the house on Silva here at a +650.
Oh, you're crazy. You're crazy. Yeah, no, I agree. And W says, I think Marvin's activity gets him a comfortable decision, 49-46. Yep. And you know, Vettori is a decision machine. He doesn't finish fights. He just goes out there and wears on guys. So you're going to get a 5-round snooze fest. You can guarantee I got better shit to do than doing a fight companion for this trash ass card. So I won't be here this weekend.
Speaking of
doing
middleweight,
summertime, I'm gonna go swim.
do you feel like? I mean, Izzy also has cleaned out his division.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like he'll retire pretty soon after maybe a couple more fights or even one more?
I hope
or do you
Izzy,
think he'll move up to 205 like a
yeah, and
Savage?
chase Alex Pereira again. Yeah, let's hope he moves up. Let's hope he moves up because it's just there's no one left for him. I mean, he could take Robert Whitaker again, and I think if Whitaker beats Duplessis, then Whitaker's got a true path to the title shot. But if he beats Whitaker for a third time, there's nothing left for him. Yeah, either retire or move up to light heavyweight. But there's nothing left for Izzy. But we'll stick to this because Cash will be here in any minute. Armin Petrosian versus Christian Duncan, the undefeated Savage, fighting out of what country is that?
A foreign one.
I know. I always forget the country. It's it's England. Duh, I'm an idiot. Right. It's Gloucestershire or whatever. But Christian Leroy Duncan, undefeated. This dude is an absolute savage. Knocked Dustin Dotorovic out, kind of. It was that knee injury. He popped his knee out. But nonetheless, I love this matchup and I love this fight. And I'm not shocked that Christian Duncan is the favorite going into this, even though Armin Petrosian has been around for a little bit longer. But I'm excited about this. Both these guys have pretty good finishing rates too. I mean, Petrosian has, out of his 8 wins, 6 of them by KO. So these guys are going to throw some heavy leather. So it'll be fun. It'll be fun. But give me Duncan here and give me him for 1,500. I didn't pick the Armin Sarzukian one, did I?
No, but we already know. Who.
Yeah, give me Armin on that for 100. Same as Tabor. I mean, there's no point. And then I'm going to go Duncan here. I'm going to go Duncan 750 here for the win. Let's move on to the next fight. Guys, sorry, I'm just burning through these, but it is what it is. I got another podcast I got to do in a couple minutes. So Pat Sabatini versus Lucas Almeida. Pat Sabatini lost to Damon Jackson back in September of last year by TKO, submission to punches. This guy's a submission machine. Out of his 17 wins, 10 of them by submission. He's only got 4 losses, 2 KOs, 2 decisions. Lucas Almeida, 14-1. The only fight he's ever lost is via decision, and that was actually, ironically enough, on Dana White's Contender Series. He did lose that fight, got a win in Jungle Fight 103, and then came back and actually signed with the UFC to fight Michael Trezano and knocked him out in the 3rd round. This is going to be a fun matchup. I actually don't know who I'm going to go with here. What is the line here for this fight? Pat Sabatini is a -180 to a +155. Lucas Almeida. Okay, I think I'm going to go with the dog here. I like Lucas Almeida. I like his finishing rate at 14-1. Give me Almeida here for 500. All right, next fight. Manuel Torres versus Nicholas Mota. Nicholas Mota's still fighting here? Oh my goodness. What in the hell? All right, well, Nicholas Mota, last fight, Cameron Van Camp. Let's see, 13 wins, 4 losses, 9 by KO, 4 by decision. We have Manuel Torres. He's on a nice little win streak here. He was a Dana White's Contender Series guy, got the win done. And then Frank Camacho beat him, knocked him out in the 1st round. Wow, powerful. Manuel Torres coming in a -160 favorite to a +135. Nicholas Mota. Yeah, give me Torres all day, man. Torres all day by KO. Give it to me for 650. All right, next one. Nicholas Dalby versus Muslim Solikov. Why is this? Okay, why do they do this? I don't understand. Why is this a prelim? Why is this a prelim? This should be on the main card. Should it not?
Well, it is on the main card on ESPN. But on the UFC, it is a prelim. The last prelim. Raoni Barcelos and Miles Johns are scheduled to be the first fight on the UFC's website, but on ESPN, it's Nicholas Dalby and Muslim Solikov. So I'm not sure which one they're going to go with, but I just threw this up.
I can tell you right now, this is going to be a dynamite fight, dude. These guys are going to throw some leather. Muslim Salikov with that really impressive third round victory against Andre Fiallo. That spinning heel kick was pretty gnarly. Man, part of me wants to go with the plus 170 Nicholas, but I think I'm going to go with Salikov here. Give me Salikov at a minus 200. I'll take him for 400. And then my parlay this week, Vettori. We're going to go Vettori. We'll go Sarzukian, Duncan, and Almeida. That's what we're going to do there. Duncan and Almeida. And then I'm going to put 500 on that.
I feel like this would be a more well-received card if the main event was a bit different, because it's not a bad card. I don't think so.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a terrible card. I don't know. I want to enjoy my summer, and it is what it is. I just don't care as much. So it is what it is. Yeah. So there it is, guys. Yep. There's the picks. There's the show. That is the Pound for Pound MMA podcast. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. My name is Mason Knight. That is Devin Davis on the ones and twos. And until next time.